had in our statement,
the analysts under the umbrella body Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group are greatly concerned that the taxpayer will carry a heavy burden in the implementation of the 2015-2016 national budget. The budget requires financing of up to 24 trillion Uganda shillings from 16 trillion Uganda shillings of financial year ending 2014-2015. Julius Mukunda is an economist working with the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG.
Government says it's going to build roads. Thank you very much. They are going to pay salaries. Thank you very much. But as a taxpayer, I think you should be prepared to tap it, to tighten your belt. Because this is an electioneering year, and we are likely to see more pledges being made in these social services. As a taxpayer, please expect that because also it's an electioneering year, that there's going to be a lot of campaigning in terms of what government intends to do, but which has not done. As a taxpayer, just to know that UPE is going to still remain the way it is. Capitation grant is at 7,000 Ugandan shillings for your child. It's going to remain the way it is. That we are not going to build new hospitals this particular financial year. That we are not likely to build more schools in this financial year. So as a taxpayer, I think the situation is going to remain the same. It might slightly get better because of the boom in election, because of increasing cash around. But also we are, as taxpayer, expect inflation is likely to rise because there will be too much money in saturation. The exchange rate, we are not seeing concerted effort by government to control it. It's also likely to increase. The shilling is likely to continue depreciating.
The government had projected to spend 18 trillion Uganda shillings in the coming financial year 2015-2016. The question you are asking therefore is, why extra 6 trillion Uganda shillings increment?
The minister has said it was a book error. A book error of 6 trillion, and we are wondering what kind of book error. But anyway, as a person, when I say 6 trillion, it becomes big. Probably for government, 6 trillion is petty cash. But they say it's a book error. But one of the issues was that they are trying to recognize the date of last financial year and bring it forward to this financial year.
The extra increment, however, will not be absorbed into the sector allocations for development, but will go to external debt payments estimated at 22 trillion Uganda shillings, excluding $1.7 billion for Karuma and Isimba dams, $12 billion for oil refinery and pipeline project, and $3 billion for standard gauge railway project.
Out of 24 trillion that we have budgeted for, 6 trillion is going for debt repayment. So we are not actually very rich. We are coming back to our 18 trillion Ugandan shillings.
Budget Advocacy Group is also concerned that despite the bloated budget, some key budget fundamentals have still not been addressed. These include the education and health sector.
The Ministry of Health required money for recruiting more doctors at Marago Hospital, and it has not been identified because Marago Hospital is currently run by the interns. We know that the Ministry of Health contract for maintaining health equipments, such as the X-rays and others, expired in 2011. This money has not been allocated for those. These equipments are going to die away. We know in education that the people that special needs education is receiving very meager amount of money, and yet 10% of our children are with a disability. We know that agriculture, the backbone of the economy, is still getting peanuts in terms of government resources. That actually even the small things, such as having a scanner at the Entebbe airport to scan the products abroad, has not been funded. That very addition will much hype and higher talked about, even what the president talked about. That very addition still has a funding gap. That out of 35 billion required is only 15. We know that the president has said that he's going to capitalize UDB for manufacturing services to get credit, but also for agriculture. We appreciate that, but we don't want agriculture to be mixed with UDB. We want agriculture to have its own bank. Even if it's the 1 billion, let it have its own bank, and then farmers can be able to access it.
Government's total revenue from both taxes and non-tax revenue is projected to be 11.1 trillion Uganda shillings. This therefore means that government will be able to fund next year's budget by only 44.5%, and the remaining 55% of the budget money will come from external and domestic borrowing from the private sector. Kenneth Bwire, WBS News.